and welcome to the May 7th, 2022 edition of the Bible Delight in the Details, the Mother's Day edition, even though it's the day after Mother's Day. There is a wonderful verse in the Bible that can be very instructive, but it can also bring on a lot of guilt and a lot of disappointment if misunderstood. And since it is about parenting, something around the Mother's Day holiday is about the best time, I think, to discuss it. It comes in Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. When you look at the ancient Hebrew that is being translated in that, you realize some interesting things. First of all, training up a child in the way he should go. The word train here has the idea of kind of selecting, helping to focus, bringing the large expanse of things into a more narrow guide. It has to do with guiding someone, focusing their attention. So we're to focus and train our children in a way of there's so much for them to look at, so much for them to focus on. We're to help them hone that focus. Now, train up a child in the way he or she should go. This is a very interesting combination of Hebrew words that actually has the connotation of in the way he is bent. The idea being like it's sort of an archery. It has a connotation of archery. You think of a bow, and you know that bows are made differently. They're all designed to shoot straight, hopefully, right? And hit the bullseye. But some have a much different tension that is required to be pulled back in order for there to be that straight shooting. And there are differences in not just the tension level, but the way in which the bow is made and the materials in which it is made. And the idea here is that you're trying to focus your children's upbringing and guide them to be effective and to be a straight shooter, so to speak, in preparing them for life, hopefully a godly life. But there is that connotation that there are different ways. There are different ways to skin the cat. Well, there are different ways to string the bow as well. And the idea here is that children are different. Oh, how people know that, how we know that, especially those who have multiple children. You know that they can be dramatically different from one another. But even those parents who like me, have only had one child, you can compare them to other children that you know, or even to your own upbringing and the way that you were raised. And you can see that certain things that work for one child or in one era just doesn't work the same in a different scenario. So we are to help focus and guide our children, but according to his or her unique bent. What is the giftedness that he or she has, that the Lord has given them, a calling, a yearning, a propensity, not just a talent, but what is it that makes their heart sing and makes their spirit come alive? We should try to catch a glimpse of what God is doing through that child. Many times I think parents, well-meaning, try to force things on their children that are the way we think it ought to be and with the best of intentions, but that may not be the uniqueness of that child. I teach a lot about diversity in the sense of diversity of learning preferences and recognition styles and communication styles. And I think this has part to do with that. If you are trying with your best intentions, but you're doing it in your way and not necessarily the way that God has gifted or called them, your best of intentions may be woefully ineffective. Now, the other thing about this verse is it is not a guarantee. Many parents, I think, have guilt because they have tried to raise their children in godly homes, and maybe their children for the present, and maybe in what the limited finite knowledge we have, it may seem forever, have gone astray, have rejected God. Think about this. Proverbs 22:6 cannot be an absolute guarantee, because if it were, it would rob your children of that which God puts as such a high premium on, and that is their own free will. Because ultimately, the most important things in life, the most important decisions, and you don't get more important than what you do about Jesus, has got to be an individual decision. And so do not feel you have failed as a parent, regardless of where your child is right now at the moment, or appears to you to be. First of all, you may be woefully wrong. Your perception may be that your child is very, very far from the Lord, and he or she may actually be very, very near. And maybe just on the brink of within minutes of some divine appointment that's going to bring them back to a full understanding. But regardless, remember, God cannot give an absolute guarantee to even a godly parent, because to do so would be to rob that child of the greatest gift of human life, which is free will. Oh, there is a greater gift, which is the gift of salvation. But that's a gift that must be accepted through the free exercise of their will. I'm J. Lenora Bressler, hoping that you had a great Mother's Day, and also that this will be encouragement for the next 364 days before the next celebration. I'm J. Lenora Bressler.